In this video, we want to invite you to explore the most exciting and diverse facets of Cuba, a nation with a rich history, vibrant culture, and stunning natural beauty. From its central location in the Caribbean to its unique blend of African, Spanish, and indigenous influences, Cuba offers countless fascinating stories and incredible facts. Stay with us until the end because the last fact will truly surprise you and show you why this island is so special. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel World Marvels so you don't miss any new videos. Welcome to World Marvels. 10. Cuba's strategic location in the Caribbean. Cuba is strategically located in the heart of the Caribbean, occupying a key position in the region. Its location between the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea, and the Atlantic Ocean has shaped its history in many ways. The island is just 145 kilometers south of Florida, USA, highlighting its geopolitical importance over the centuries. During colonial times, Cuba was a hub of transatlantic maritime trade, connecting the Americas, Europe, and Africa. Cuba's location made it a coveted target for colonial powers. In the 16th and 17th centuries, Spain, France, and England fought for control of the island, resulting in a diverse cultural mix. This strategic position not only influenced Cuba's political and economic development, but also contributed to its rich biodiversity. Cuba's landscape offers everything from white sandy beaches to tropical jungles and majestic mountains. Even today, the country's location continues to affect daily life and the economy. Its proximity to the United States made Cuba a key player during the Cold War, and this influence is still felt in its politics. Despite the economic embargo, Cuba has leveraged its tourist appeal to attract visitors from around the world. Its natural treasures and historical sites make it a captivating destination. 9. Cuba's colonial heritage. The arrival of the Spanish in Cuba in 1492 changed the island forever. Spanish colonization brought not only the Spanish language and Catholicism, but also an economic system based on plantations, primarily focused on sugar and tobacco. These commodities became the backbone of the country's economy for centuries to come. Colonization also brought the forced importation of African slaves who worked on the plantations. However, this forced migration left a deep and lasting cultural impact. African traditions blended with Spanish customs, creating a unique mix that is still visible today in Cuba's music, dance, and religion. The colonial era also left its mark on Cuba's architecture. The capital city, Havana, is a prime example, with its majestic colonial buildings, narrow streets, and grand plazas that breathe life into the city's past. Havana's streets exude an atmosphere of times gone by, adorned with colorful buildings and vintage cars. This unique charm draws tourists from all over the world eager to experience the island's rich history. 8. The Cuban Revolution and its impact. The Cuban Revolution of 1959 shook the world and led to the establishment of a socialist government under Fidel Castro's leadership. This revolution was the culmination of years of struggle against the authoritarian regime of Fulgencio Batista. Castro's rise to power was fueled by widespread public discontent with corruption and political repression. The revolution marked the beginning of a new era for Cuba, but it also ushered in decades of tension with the United States. The U.S. imposed an economic embargo in response to the nationalization of American-owned properties in Cuba, and this embargo is still in place. These drastic measures have had a significant impact on the Cuban economy. Despite these challenges, Cuba managed to implement remarkable social reforms. Education and healthcare were the most notable beneficiaries of the revolution. The Cuban government made education and healthcare free for all citizens, resulting in high literacy rates and a well-educated population. Although many Cubans left the country after the revolution, those who stayed showed incredible resilience and creativity. The collapse of the Soviet Union in the 1990s triggered a severe economic crisis for Cuba, as the Soviet Union had been a key economic partner. However, the country rebounded by developing new economic strategies, including boosting tourism. 7. The diversity and beauty of Cuban women. Cuban women are renowned for their beauty, charm, and strength. Their diversity is the result of the blend of African, European, and indigenous influences that began during colonial times. This ethnic richness is present in Cuban society and is reflected in the different skin tones, eye colors, and hair textures that make Cuban women so unique. But the beauty of Cuban women goes beyond the surface. Their resilience and determination have made them pillars of Cuban society. Many women take on leadership roles within their families and contribute significantly to the country's economic and social life. The role of women in Cuba is also a symbol of the strength and sense of community that defines Cuban culture. Cuban women are also known for their unmistakable sense of fashion. Their clothing is often a colorful blend of tradition and modernity, reflecting their vibrant personalities and creativity. At celebrations and dances, they radiate grace and energy, adding to the lively atmosphere that makes life in Cuba so spirited. 6. Cuba's economic challenges. Despite being one of the most popular tourist destinations in the Caribbean, Cuba faces significant economic challenges. The U.S. embargo, which has been in place for decades, has heavily impacted the economy, making it difficult to access international markets and resources. The collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s also caused a severe economic downturn, as the Soviet Union had been a key trading partner for Cuba. These economic difficulties have deeply affected the daily lives of Cubans. Many people work multiple jobs to support their families. Despite these hardships, the Cuban people show incredible resilience and creativity in facing tough conditions. In recent years, the Cuban government has implemented reforms aimed at strengthening the economy. Small businesses and cooperatives have been encouraged, creating new economic opportunities. Despite these efforts, the economic situation remains complicated, and many Cubans rely on financial support from relatives living abroad. 5. Cuba's cultural fusion. Cuba is a melting pot of cultures. Its rich history has led to a cultural diversity that is reflected in all aspects of life, from art and music to religion and cuisine. This cultural blend is the result of centuries of fusion, beginning with Spanish colonization and the arrival of African slaves. African traditions and Spanish customs mixed with indigenous influences, creating a unique culture that defines Cuba today. This fusion is especially evident in music and dance. African rhythms have a strong influence on Cuban music, while Spanish melodies and dances can be seen in classical music and traditional dances like the danzón. Cuban music genres like son cubano and rumba are the products of this cultural fusion. The son, which combines African rhythms with Spanish melodies, became famous worldwide and even influenced the development of salsa. Cuban religion also reflects this cultural blend. Santeria, a syncretic religion that combines elements of Catholicism with African traditions, is widely practiced in Cuba. This religious tradition arose from the need to adapt African beliefs to the Catholic context in Cuba. Santeria, practiced by many Cubans, combines Catholic saints with African deities, showcasing the adaptive creativity of Cuban culture. For music and dance, the soul of Cuba. Music and dance are deeply ingrained in Cuban culture and are a reflection of the Cuban people's joy and resilience. The Cuban music scene is famous worldwide, and its influence can be seen in many musical genres. From popular salsa to traditional son to the Afro-Cuban rhythms of rumba, music is present throughout the island. The origins of Cuban music date back to the colonial era when African slaves brought their musical traditions to Cuba and mixed them with Spanish sounds. This musical fusion created new rhythms and styles that make Cuban music unique. Son cubano, a musical style that emerged in Cuba's rural areas, combines African percussion with Spanish melodies and became one of Cuba's most famous and influential styles. But it's not just the music that's central to Cuban culture. Dance is equally important, deeply embedded in daily life. Dancing is part of everyday life for Cubans and is a staple at parties, celebrations, and gatherings. Dances like salsa and rumba are known worldwide, and their passionate, rhythmic movements symbolize the Cuban zest for life. Whether in the streets of Havana or rural towns, music and dance are everywhere and bring people together. For Cubans, music is more than entertainment. It's a way to express their identity and cultural legacy. 3. Cuban cuisine, a delicious fusion of flavors. Cuban cuisine is a reflection of the country's cultural diversity, blending Spanish, African, and indigenous influences to create a unique culinary experience. The staple ingredients of Cuban cooking include rice, beans, and plantains, all seasoned with fresh herbs and spices. One famous dish is ropa vieja, a slow-cooked shredded beef stew served with a flavorful tomato sauce. This dish is a symbol of Cuban culinary creativity, as it was originally made with simple ingredients. Another popular dish is moros y cristianos, a combination of black beans and white rice, traditionally seasoned with garlic, onions, and peppers. Cuban cuisine is characterized by its fresh ingredients and simple but flavorful preparation methods. Many dishes rely on local produce like tropical fruits, fresh fish, and pork. The use of citrus, garlic, and herbs like cilantro gives Cuban dishes their distinctive and spicy flavor. While Cuban cuisine may seem simple, it reflects the country's history and creative spirit. In Cuba, food is not just sustenance. It's a social act where family and friends come together to share life's pleasures. 2. Daily life and Cuban resilience. Daily life in Cuba is marked by challenges, but also by a deep sense of community and an incredible resilience. Cuba has overcome many economic obstacles, especially the U.S. embargo that has been in place for decades and has restricted access to international markets and resources. Despite these challenges, Cubans show remarkable creativity and adaptability. Many work multiple jobs to support their families, and the informal sector plays a significant role in the economy. In recent years, the Cuban government has taken steps to encourage small businesses and cooperatives, offering new economic opportunities. Education and healthcare are free for all Cubans, resulting in one of the highest literacy rates in the world and a strong healthcare system. Cuba has gained international recognition for sending medical brigades to countries affected by natural disasters or health crises. Despite economic difficulties, Cubans take pride in their culture and community. Solidarity among them is strong, and in times of need, people support each other. This sense of community and resilience are central elements of Cuban identity and have sustained the country through difficult times. 1. Cuba's natural beauty and historic treasures. Cuba's natural beauty is both stunning and diverse. From the white sandy beaches of Veradero to the green hills and mountains of the Sierra Maestra, Cuba offers visitors an abundance of breathtaking landscapes. The country is known for its rich flora and fauna, including many endemic species found nowhere else in the world. Particularly notable are the coral reefs surrounding Cuba, which are among the healthiest in the Caribbean. These reefs are a paradise for divers and snorkelers, offering the opportunity to explore a colorful underwater world. National parks and nature reserves protect many of these natural treasures, contributing to the preservation of Cuba's unique ecosystems. Cuba is also full of historic sites that tell the story of its long and complex history. The old town of Havana Vieja, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, offers a fascinating glimpse into Cuba's colonial legacy. With its narrow streets, colorful buildings, and lively plazas, Havana is a living museum of history. The Vinales Valley in the province of Pinar del Rio is another Cuban gem. It is famous for its unique geological formations, known as magotes, and its tobacco plantations, which offer visitors a window into rural Cuban life. This region is a place of exceptional beauty and a must-visit for nature lovers. Cuba is a nation that, with its rich history, vibrant culture, and resilient people, continues to inspire and captivate. Despite political and economic challenges, Cubans show an unbreakable spirit, creativity, and love for life. Whether enjoying music in the streets of Havana, preserving ancient traditions, or sharing a meal with family, the Cuban people demonstrate their ability to find beauty and joy in every moment. What aspect of Cuban culture fascinates you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel World Marvels for more fascinating content. Until next time, and may the spirit of Cuba always be with you.